To get better at speaking English, you need to practice with native speakers. But do you ever find it hard to get the conversation started? Well, in this lesson, I will give you some great ideas for starting conversations with your coworkers, your customers, your friends, and even complete strangers on the street. With these 5 tips, you'll be able to start a conversation and keep it going, leading you to even more pleasant discussions, getting to know people better, and deepening your relationships over time. My name is Kendra with Fluency King, and if you want to become a King of Fluency King, then remember to hit that subscribe button so you can get new English lessons like this every Wednesday. You don't want to miss them, so please subscribe. Most conversations start with small talk. Even amongst close friends, it's common to use typical greetings like, "Hi, how are you?" and "Hey, how's it going?" to get the conversation started. In my office, for example, I may see maybe 7 or 8 people in the hallway or in the break room, and it's very common for me to say to them, "Hello, how are you doing today?" If I give the typical response of, "I'm fine, I'm good," and the other person will say back to me the same thing, then the conversation will go nowhere. Instead, though, I want to challenge you to share more than what is expected and see if you can get more in return. The key to making conversation in English is to always share more than what is asked. This gives the other person more to work with, and they are more likely to give you more in return than just the 2 or 3 word short answers. So, instead of saying, "I'm good," try saying, "I'm great. I just finished a big project and I'm so happy it's done. How is your day going?" Do you see how I actually shared a small glimpse or a small look into my life? Do you see how the other person might respond differently than the usual one-word response now? They may acknowledge what I said about my project and share a little about their day as well. At first, it may take some time and a little preparation on your part to share more than what is asked. "How are you?" is one of the most common questions that people are asked. So it will do you some good to prepare something. Think of something that you can say every day that can give people some insight into how your day is going. Some ideas that you can share for how to answer "How is your day?" includes, "I'm excited. I'm going to check out a new movie tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it. How about you?" "I'm great. My daughter just graduated from kindergarten. I'm so proud of her. She's growing up so fast." "I'm good, but ready for the weekend and have some exciting plans." In all of these examples, you're sharing more than what is asked. And now the other person can choose to play along and share something about themselves as well, or they can ask you some follow-up questions. Both are great ways to keep the conversation going. So, now it's your turn. In the comments below, let me know how you're doing. Remember, tip number 1 is to share more than usual. And I'm curious to know, how are you doing today? Well, that brings me to tip number 2. You want to listen to what the other person says and ask a thoughtful question about it. Let's take the previous 3 examples that we talked about. If someone says, "I'm going to check out a new movie and I'm excited about it," That is an open invitation to ask more about that. You could say, "Oh, really? What movie are you going to see? And why are you so excited?" On the second one, where I said, "My daughter graduated from kindergarten," you can say, "Wow, congrats. How did your daughter like school so far?" Or the last one, "I have some exciting plans." It's natural to ask, "Oh, really? What do you have planned?" You want to listen for these opportunities to ask follow-up questions. Once the person answers your follow-up question, then repeats tip number 1. Share more than what is asked. Share any relevant stories from your life to keep the conversation going. You want to constantly alternate between sharing some of your stories and asking the other person follow-up questions about what they're saying. Another great way to start a conversation is with tip number 3. Give a sincere compliment, followed by a question. For example, "I really like your shirt, your watch, your car, your computer. Where did you get it? I think it'll be a good gift for someone." When you give a compliment like this, people really don't mind sharing the information with you. And they're happy that you're showing an interest in something that they own or something that they like themselves. And when they hear that you want to buy something for a family member or for yourself, they tend to want to help you, and they'll give you a longer response about how you can find that item as well. Another idea to get the conversation started is to talk about your current environment. What is unique about it? What stands out about it? You can ask, "Why is the air conditioning so cold in this place?" Or if you're in a long line, "Wow, this line is impressive. Do you think we can get out of here by Christmas?" Or you can use whichever holiday is furthest away. This one's slightly funny, and people will appreciate the amusement while doing something as boring as waiting in line. Comments about your environment are fun icebreakers, meaning a nice way to break down any walls or any barriers between you and a stranger. But to keep the conversation going, you can use tip number 5. Tip number 5 is to ask if they have anything exciting planned this weekend. Usually people will either say, "No, I'm just relaxing." "No, I'm just doing chores and errands this weekend." Or they will share a really interesting story of what they plan to do. Other variations of this question could be, "What do you like to do for fun? Is there anything exciting going on at work? Do you have anything fun planned this weekend?" In general, finding out what someone likes and then just talking about that is a surefire way to get the conversation going. For example, I love to travel. If you ask me 1 or 2 thoughtful questions about traveling, get ready to hear about my latest trip. I can go on and on about it. The thing is that every person on this planet has a subject that they love to talk about. It's nice to figure out a person's favorite thing to do. And you can make a game of it. See if you can strike up a conversation with people at your job and see if you can find out what everyone's favorite thing is. Remember to keep the conversation going with tip number 1 by sharing more, and tip number 2 by asking thoughtful follow-up questions. Well, now I've given you the 5 tips to improve the quality of your small talk and your English conversations. I hope these tips will help you deepen your conversations. Remember that with all things, it takes consistent practice to improve. So don't be frustrated if you're not perfect at this right away. Continue to practice a little every day in English. Wouldn't it be great if day by day you can learn a little bit more about the people around you, finding mutual interests that you share, and starting to feel more connected to the community? These English conversation tips can help you reach these goals, so keep practicing them. If you like these tips, remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can be sure to get more English lessons like this every Wednesday. Lastly, check out fluencyking.com for our free ebook on how to become fluent in English. The links are in the description box below. As always, happy practicing until next time. Bye guys!